Colin Powell, the first Black U.S. Secretary of State who has died from COVID-19 complications, is being remembered for his impact on U.S. diplomacy, but also for a collection of life rules he published in one of his memoirs. And to pay tribute to the man whom I have observed and admired from a distance during my reportorial days in ABS-CBN, I would like to share the 13 rules he said that he lived by. Number 1, it ain't as bad as you think. It will look better in the morning. 2, get mad, then get over it. Number 3, avoid having your ego so close to your position that when your position falls, your ego goes with it. Number 4, it can be done. 5, be careful what you choose. You may get it. 6, don't let adverse facts stand in the way of a good decision. 7, you can't make someone else's choice. You shouldn't let someone else make yours. 8, check small things. Number 9, share credit. 10, remain calm, be kind. 11, have a vision, be demanding. 12, don't take counsel of your fears or naysayers. Number 13, perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. And number 13 is actually my favorite. They say perpetual optimism is indeed a force multiplier. I say you become what you think about most of the time. Continue to affirm your positive thoughts and actions, and you'll be a force to be reckoned with. Welcome to Life Expressions. I'm Charie Ginete-Ilon. Today, we are going to talk to someone who has a force to be reckoned with. He is a former kapamilya and kapuso. I remember I used to call him often to host the Dinagyang live coverage in Iloilo and many other kapamilya big events when I was station manager of ABS-CBN. He was also former host of Mag TV na Amiga. He was also host for Sikat Ka Iloilo until 2015. In 2018, he became news anchor and senior desk reporter of GMA, Regional TV 1 Western Visayas, and main host of GMA Regional TV Early Edition until recently when he filed his certificate of candidacy. He topped the professional civil service examinations in October 2007. He is a lawyer by profession. He passed the bar exams in 2013. He is a former part-time teacher in University of San Agustin and University of the Philippines in the Visayas. He's an author of the Sentido Común book, which will be released very soon. He has leadership experience with the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Iloilo, Sigma Alpha Lex and the College of Law, and many others. And he continues to be active in various youth organizations like Samahan ng Bagong Kabataan. But he is a person that does not actually need further introduction. Please welcome to Life Expressions, Atty Sedfrey Cabaluna. Hi, Sedfrey.
Hi, Ma'am. Good day to you, Miss Charie. Good day to all your viewers. It's an honor to be interviewed by my idol, my mentor, my boss,
Wow.
Miss Charie Ginete-Ilon. I've learned a lot from you, and to this day, I continue to follow some of the things that you've shared with us during our time together at ABS-CBN. So it's great to see you, Ma'am, and great to talk to you this morning.
Yes, it is my privilege and honor. And thank you so much for giving me this time of yours, Ed. I know you're very busy. So what keeps you busy these days?
It's been a busy years for me working in government, in media, and even in the academe. But to be honest, for the past 2 weeks, since I'm practically classified as unemployed, so so I had to resign from all my work because I have put myself for consideration by the residents of Iloilo City to be one of their city councilors. So I'm focused on that now. More than campaigning, it's really more about getting to know the city more, getting to understand their concerns, getting to meet people, preparing ourselves to be able to respond to the needs of the community. Just like what we did when we were with media, we continue to dialogue with people. And I think that's my focus right now. I may be out of job, but definitely not resting. It's really all the focus right now is to really engage and meet people and see what the city needs so that we can really respond to it if given the chance to serve them in public office.
Yeah, that is good to know, Sedfrey, because ever since I have known you, I have already seen this path really for you. And it took you a while to finally decide to put yourselves out there to run for city councilor. Why did you finally decide now?
It's important when we make decisions that we are really prepared for it.
Mhm.
Running for public office is not just about winning, it's about serving. It's really public service for me. So in order to be able to do that, our work in media allows us to be in people's consciousness. We might have an advantage in terms of winnability, but I'm more concerned whether I'm competent enough, I'm equipped enough. No? So this period of time, I allowed myself to understand what I can bring, to the table, what I can offer people. So I value my work with media, which has predominantly occupied my last 15 years of my life, and that allowed me to immerse in communities. But more than that, also while I was working with media, I was taking up law school, so I was equipping myself also with the level of knowledge and expertise in law and legal practice. Working in academe allowed me also to immerse with the youth, with their concerns and building their future. And more importantly, I also engage myself with some national government agencies, which include the Commission on Human Rights and the Department of Tourism quite recently, allowing me to understand the intricacies of government work, and what resources we could tap so that we can ultimately, in the end, be ready and prepared in serving the community if given the chance. So it's basically a preparation stage. People were asking me then, Miss Charie, why do you have diverse work? No, I told them, hopefully someday it will synergize into one direction, and it appears, this is where it will synergize. All this work. Why was I in media? Why am I a lawyer? Why am I in academia? Why am I government work? This is the synergy we're looking for. That all the knowledge, experience, and expertise, and even network that I gained through all those work environment will now be here, in one area where it could practically be concentrated or focused upon to serve my city and the city I grew up in and the people that live here.
That is good. So, Sedfrey, what would be your main agenda?
Right now, the main agenda really is for me is sustainable tourism. I worked with the Department of Tourism for the past 3 years, and I learned that this is the area, this is the sector that and the economic driving force that will help us moving forward. We have experienced the pandemic, and many are advocating for health, all that, but that's not really my expertise. So instead, I told them if I'm going to push a particular legislative agenda, it will be on creating the economic stimulus that we need so that in time when the pandemic is over, or if we have won over this health concern, we should be ready already to pick our economy up. And tourism allows us to do that, not only in terms of economy, but also in inclusive growth. With tourism, we can cater to more people, the taxi drivers, the jeepney drivers, those that make souvenirs, even tour guides, those working in hotels and restaurants. So it's more in the value chain. It can get more to people. So I guess that's what my main platform is because of the experience in tourism work. Side by side, my legal capacity because of being a lawyer, the work of a city councilor is predominantly legislation, passing ordinance and all that. And I think as a lawyer, it will help me evaluate the needed legislation that the city should be passed and that the city should pass, and at the same time to cater to more residents. We want the city council to be responsive to the needs of the people. So even at this point, every time I move around, I carry myself with my a list of everything of concerns in each barangay, and maybe we can institutionalize the solutions on a city level, the concerns that many barangays, or at least most people, feel must be needed and must be given utmost attention.
Yeah. In your consultations with various barangays and people from all walks of life, what seems to be the most common concerns?
I believe it's still opportunity. Um, the city of Iloilo has really progressed a lot in the past few years. That's why the city mayor is really pushing and defining his campaign in terms of the word uswag or progress. But I believe, when we look at it on the ground, progress should not just be infrastructure alone or investment alone. Progress should be coupled with people progress. giving people the opportunity to participate in whatever economic benefits, opportunities abound. No, so I see that there, within terms of infrastructure and development, it cannot be denied that the city has grown in terms of leaps and bounds and what it has achieved, no, together. But people, of course, can they participate? The question is, when opportunities like jobs are available, are people able to avail of this? No? When opportunities such as business opportunities are available, or small, medium enterprise that capable of competing with the investments that are coming in. So I guess people progress is what we're looking at. And so we want to see people or opportunities for capacity building, education, things like this. No, so an opportunity also to participate. We always carried the platform of participative governance, no? And sometimes legislation could be unattached. No, when we pass legislation without involving people, parang ano lang yan, kutsara ang pinapakain lang natin directly sa mga tao, not necessarily giving them the opportunity to participate. That's why people are asking why our legislation or why our policies not effective in the end, because they really did not come from the grassroots. You know?
Yeah.
Some of our leaders believe they can pass ordinance and let people follow it. No, that should not be the case. No, so I see people progress should come not just in opportunities but even in policies and programs of government. We'd like the opportunity to participate, no, and get involved.
Good. So you have also worked with the Commission on Human Rights as a PIO. So in what capacity, or shall I say, what advocacies would you also bring forward in that in relation to Commission on Human Rights or the rights of the people?
That was really interesting because when I worked with the Commission on Human Rights, that was at the same time I was also taking up law. No, so the immersion in the fight for human rights really allowed me to understand how important it is that people should be able to participate in development. I see development rights very important, participative rights are very important, side-by-side social services, which is usually what is given utmost concern, the right to food, shelter, water, electricity, education. But the other rights, participative rights, being able to participate in governance, development rights, in terms of young people and even adults also being given a chance to improve themselves, enhance their skills. So this is where we're looking at. Ultimately, when I was with the Commission on Human Rights, I've seen that we have a lot of laws that provides opportunities or rights to our people, but access to it or people claiming or understanding their rights is still lacking. So if ever given the chance later on, I would really endeavor that we conduct legal clinics in the barangays, get people to understand what rights are available to them and what responsibilities this entail, so that we can ultimately empower them to be able to understand what can be done, what they should do in their specific situations. So I realized my government work, especially with the Commission on Human Rights, was really immersive, and at the same time, it allows me to understand the value of human rights, which is usually associated with with rallies and leftist groups. But human rights is really for everyone. It's really, if you want to travel, if you want to work, if you want to express yourself, then government must must provide the necessary safeguards to protect these rights and allow us to express and exercise the rights that we want to be able to really live our life to the fullest.
Yeah. Sedfrey, you are obviously very knowledgeable and you are, shall I say, equipped to be city councilor. Being a lawyer, you know how to do, of course, shall I say, draft legislation when you become city councilor. But most people obviously are also interested on what kind of person you are when you put yourself forward. What are the main qualities that you think people associate you with?
I think it started with my work with you, ma'am, with ABS-CBN. Early as that, you cannot be a host or an anchor or a media broadcast personality, a broadcaster, without really going down and meeting people. I think that really, I remember I coined that term. I started with radio, if you remember, with the MOR. I
Yeah.
told you, and you asked me, how's your work? That was my first job. I told them, I think I was humanized by, I don't know if you remember that. I was
Yes.
humanized by my work with radio because I studied, I was an Inglesero ako. I was
Yes.
really kind of, at that time, and I realized, sabi ko, I was encountering simple problems of people, love problems, family problems. Then sabi ko, if I was on ordinary times, to say, ang problema niyo ba tong? I would say, baka hindi naman gaano kalaki. But when I thought, when I immersed myself fully in the work we're doing, I said I was humanized. Suddenly I realized when people tell you their problems, you have to give genuine interest and
Yes.
consideration because they wouldn't express that if it's not heavy for them. And so from that starting point, I really evolved into using that listening ear. When I speak in public, I said I think the character or the attitude that they're really crediting me for is I have the ear to listen, I have the eyes to see. And that was predominantly what the training I had with media. So we will go to the barangays, we will see what is happening, we listen to people's clamor for changes or for betterment of their lives and their communities, and that's what we're gonna bring there. We're not gonna sit in a high tower and say, I'm a city councilor. No, we want to go down. We
Yeah.
want people to understand that we will be there. We will be their ears. We will be their eyes. And if they continue to be our partners in their development, then we can really bring forth a kind of legislation that is responsive to their needs and not unattached. It's dito pa guapo-guapo. I always say, I'd rather even support community-initiated legislation. It doesn't have to be perfect grammar, but if it comes from the community, it is better. It will really be something that they will fight for. And I'm hoping that one day we will see more of those community-initiated legislation in the city council. Just like when I was in work, when I was an ordinary citizen, I would always write our mayor, I would write our congressman, and tell them maybe you could consider this legislation. I hope with me there, I hope I can listen also to this kind of agenda that are coming from people.
In your journey, what are the biggest challenges that you have encountered so far?
I guess many times with government work, I've seen how politics work. Uh, Credit goes not necessarily to the best or the person who work hardest, but maybe to the person who work loudest. Sometimes it's like that. What else? I've seen also with my work with youth organizations how this disillusionment could always come about because your idealism is there. You want to do something, and then you realize that the things that you're proposing might be against the powers that be. For instance, in my work with the environment, I've learned to love scuba diving. So I've been working in Anini Antique, helping reinforce the protected areas there in our dive sites. But again, you have to face such issues as livelihood of people, income of the government, side by side protection of the environment. So all these are things that I always face when I was with my advocacies. The hardest probably, if any, it would really be time with people, time with friends. So I've always been a driven person. So my family would say, "Ang dami mong panahon sa ibang tao in your advocacies, but not with your own family." But slowly they understand that I'm kind of committed to the world, to the community. So they're now part of the support system that allows me to do these things with their help.
Yeah, that is good that you have the support of your family, but you are still single, right?
I am. I
Do you
kind of
think
married my country.
do you think being single is a plus factor because you would have more time to share of yourself and more time to work for the city?
I think so. No, not really to say that if you're married, you don't have the time. No, but
Of
I guess
course.
being single, no, yeah, you might not have as much limitations as other leaders. No, so I can work up to the wee hours in the morning. No, I can go to the community without worrying whether uh, kids are already home or that. No, so I guess being single gives you some benefits as well. No, and um, ultimately, it also allows people to relate to me more. No, and I relate to people further, especially to young,
Mhm.
to women, no,
Mhm.
to organizations, even to our usually yung fan club ko ata na develop yung mga nanay, no?
That's
Yan
good.
ata, so where go and mothers and lolas, no, ito, I feel like I'm more attached to them, no. I guess maybe they kind of care for me more because I'm single, not necessarily lonely, of course, just
Yes.
single.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
had to
that's good to
clarify that.
know. That is good to know. Anyway, Sedfrey, who do you think has influenced you most? You have worked in many sectors, not just in media, you have also been in government and the academe. So who has influenced you most?
Um, if it's a person who has influenced me most, it would really be my father. He was also a lawyer. He ventured to politics for a while, no? And I grew up with him really spending time talking to me, talking about from politics to religion. So I guess I still carry those things, no? And even if I go around in the little city, I would
Mhm,
still hear good things, no? People saying, your dad was like this, your dad was like that. So I
mhm,
guess he was really of great influence, no? I kind of tried to separate from the profession that he was in. He was also a lawyer for a
mhm,
while, but
mhm.
ultimately, I guess if it's for you, it's for you. No? So
Yeah.
my greatest influence would really be my father. No?
Mhm,
My mother also allowed me to be more emotional. My father is more of the, let's say, rational. No? My mother's more emotional, compassionate. No, I guess
mhm,
she influences me that way. But in terms of national figures, I've studied a lot of them. I've studied Mandela. I've studied Nino Aquino. I've studied even Ferdinand Marcos. I've kind of gotten some nips and buds of their character and see whether what I can inculcate or learn or see with myself. No, and maybe uh, learn and apply that also in my leadership principles and what I'm
mhm.
trying to do for the community.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Speaking of leadership principles,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do you think makes a good leader?
Vision. No? Yeah, it has to really be vision. In the past, we kind of associate leaders as decision makers. So they decide for us, they make programs for us. But as I evolve my leadership values, I really see vision as more important, than
Mhm,
decision.
mhm,
And this vision, if you can set a direction for yourself,
mhm,
can set a direction for your constituents, and can set a direction for your community. That's very important.
mhm,
Second is to really share that vision with many people, allow it to evolve. Communication. No? I'm lucky to really have work in an environment where communications are very important with media as a lawyer and even as a government worker. I see a gap there sometimes with our laws and policies and programs, and the gap is where we communicate it with people, where we link it
mhm,
and make people understand how vital these programs are for themselves, no? And not judge it by some bias or selfish interest. No? So I
mhm,
guess these three things, no? Vision, ability to work with people, inspire people, and lastly, communicating. No? Because not just one way. It must also come back. You must get the necessary feedback to evaluate your policies and programs, whether they actually are effective, whether they are responsive to
mhm,
those the audience or the target sector.
mhm, mhm. Okay. Many people already know a lot about you. What is a fun fact about you? What is one thing that we still don't know about you?
I kind of like taking breaks. These are things I kind of escape for a while. People, you can find me. People would say I'm serious in public, even in my social media accounts. But with my friends, I kind of like to just shed off this all that, no, and allow myself to have a break. No? So I kind of like traveling,
Mhm,
escaping from Iloilo City, visiting our
mhm,
tourist sites, no,
mhm,
working with people. That's what we're trying to do. No? I have this sudden high interest in going underwater, diving, seeing how beautiful the fishes in the ocean is, no, and all the animals. It's always a search. It's always a thrill, no.
mhm,
So these are things things that I love doing, spending time with friends and families and my family. So I guess that's what I try to do. No? The fun comes there. The fun comes there when you're not with people who are expecting you to be prim and proper, but just expecting you to be yourself, and
Mhm.
you can just unload everything. Get
Mhm.
yourself also to be embarrassed from time to time. I guess that's those are treasured moments for me.
Yeah. And what drives you, Sedfrey?
Uh, Service, no public service. When they ask me why I'm shifting from one job or another, I always respond, it's not really the job. It's really the goal is to serve. No? The jobs and the work I've worked for the past years, it's really those are platforms. So what drives me is to find a platform that can respond to the sector I want to serve more. No? So when the pandemic came quite recently, 2 years ago, I was asked by GMA to come back to media work from DOT. My work
Yeah.
in DOT was already I was already a division chief. If you look at it, when I was a division chief with DOT, I was heavily working on the rehabilitation of Boracay Island. So
Yeah.
that was the need at the time. Then when the pandemic came, GMA asked me to come back to media, and I said, this is more important now because information is vital in a pandemic, in a crisis. During this stage, there's a lot of fake news, fake information, which might get people to take wrong actions or
Mhm.
uninformed decisions, and we'd like to help in passing the right information and news to people. So I went back, and now with the foray into politics, I feel like the next step is this. No, the pandemic. Hopefully, we can overcome it as soon as possible. I feel like there's a gap in terms of preparing for how we can rise up from the fall. No, how we can rise up from all this the impact of the pandemic to our communities, and that's why we're here. That's why we hope to get ourselves to a position where we can proactively participate and
Mhm.
start building our communities.
So, are you actively campaigning for vaccination of Ilonggos?
I think that is really what we want to do now. No?
Mhm.
If we are there's no shortcut to this. It's not gonna vanish. The virus is not gonna vanish
Exactly.
tomorrow. The only weapon that we have is vaccination. No, vaccination. Uh, we should get involved, get people to understand that, because what we're facing now is really vaccine hesitation. People are undecided or hesitant or resisting to it because of misinformation. So, uh, for me, the first chance I got to get vaccinated, I did it immediately, and I
Mhm.
advocated for it among my friends, side by side, our minimum health protocols.
Yeah. Finally, Sedfrey, why should they choose you?
Why should they choose me? I guess I'm one of them because I'm one of them. Um, I was one of those also would sit down and observe our leaders. I'm one of those also would say, why is this not being done? Why is this not why are actions not taken on this matter? Because these are very important. So I guess I'm one of them also who wanted to do something. Born here, I grew up here, and my leadership growth began as early as elementary years, high school years, college years. I was working with my student councils. No? So I guess I'm born and bred here, and my the culture of leadership that developed in me was really highly influenced by the Ilonggo community, no? The people that we met. No, so on those two things, I'm one of them, and I've been trained. No, I've been preparing intentionally or not, no, naturally, I guess, as early as when I was in elementary years, to really serve this city which I love. No, so I guess this just uh, I hope this will bring into fruition or all the diverse things I've tried to immerse myself in, so that I can really help and be ready to serve our people.
That's good. And my
Mhm.
fearless forecast is that they will choose you,
Thank you.
which you really
God
deserve.
willing.
Yeah, because you deserve to be there in the City Council of Iloilo. Well, I am now here in Canada, so I can say that because I have been in Iloilo for, shall I say, 8 years. And I love the city of love. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, Sedfrey, and thank you so much for sharing a part of yourself
Yeah.
with me and, of course, my followers here on Life Expressions. And guys, thank you so much for watching. My guest is Attorney Sedfrey Lopez Cabaluna. Thank you so much, Sedfrey. And for those of
Thank you,
you
Ms.
who
Charie.
for those of you who like this episode, please don't forget, please share it, download it, and continue to subscribe to Life Expressions. I'm your host, Charie Ginete-Ilon. Don't forget that anything worth doing is worth doing well. Till next time, here on Life Expressions.